So this is my ultimate beginner's guide to buying and owning a Tesla Model 3. We're actually gonna hop in mine real quick and I'll tell you everything you need to know. By the time you finish this video, you should know exactly what the Model 3 is all about, if it's a good fit for you, how to go through the ordering process and which options to choose. At any point in this video, you can use the timestamp links in the description below to skip to a certain section. And if you do decide to order a Model 3, you can get 6 months of free supercharging if you use my referral link, which is also listed in the description below, or you can click the eye icon on the top right of this video at any time. I'll also link my full Model 3 video. If you haven't seen that already, I highly recommend watching that. It will help you out a lot. Now, let's go for a ride. So let me give you a quick overview. The Tesla Model 3 is an all-electric vehicle, meaning you never have to buy gas again, which is really nice. It's currently the most affordable Tesla vehicle available. It's one of the best-selling mid-size premium sedans in the US. It's made of aluminum and steel, scoring 5 stars in every single safety category, and it scored the lowest probability of injury by any car ever tested by the NHTSA, so it's one of the safest cars ever produced. It has many unique design elements, including an all-glass roof, 15-inch center-mounted touchscreen display that controls pretty much everything, and a sleek exterior that focuses on maximizing aerodynamics. So I've owned my Model 3 for over 6 months now, and it's still the best car I've ever driven. So we're gonna park and I'm gonna pull up the web browser on the touchscreen display here in the Model 3. I'm gonna walk you through the design process and show you which options that you wanna consider when you're ordering your own Model 3. So if the Model 3 sparks your interest in any way and you're thinking about ordering one, it's all done online. So I'm gonna walk you through the whole entire design process. So for example, we're gonna use my referral link. So when you visit my referral link, it'll show a box that says free supercharging. Annie's referral code gives you 6 months of free supercharging. And then you can go ahead and click design now. If you have a Model 3 reservation already, you can go ahead and click that, but we'll design now and design it from scratch so I can explain all the options available for your Model 3. So right now, currently there are 3 available configurations for a Model 3. Now Tesla is constantly changing and tweaking their pricing and options. So make sure you visit their website for the most up-to-date info. I'll leave the link in the description below. Of course, you can use my referral link if you want. It'll take you directly to this page and it'll show you the most up-to-date info for whatever they're offering for the Model 3. So right now there is a rear-wheel drive, the mid-range battery, which starts out at $46,000 and it has a range of 260 miles, 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds. That's their lowest tier right now. The mid-tier is the dual motor all-wheel drive long-range battery. So that is starting at $53,000 with 310 miles of range, so 50 miles more range than the mid-range battery. And it's a little bit faster, 0 to 60, 4.5 seconds. And then you got the top of the line performance dual motor all-wheel drive, which is the fastest, the quickest out of all the Model 3s. Same long-range battery as the regular dual motor, but you get a little bit faster, actually quite a bit faster, 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, which is wicked fast. And that starts at $64,000. So as you can tell, you're gonna have to have at least a budget of around $50,000 if you're considering a Model 3 right now. And all these prices are before tax incentives, which I'll go over and I'll explain the federal tax credit in the next section. So this option is the most important choice that you'll make for your Model 3 because it determines what kind of motor and battery that you have. So in my opinion, I would choose, if I had to buy it all over again, I would go with the mid-tier, the long-range battery, normal, non-performance dual motor all-wheel drive, because I think that 300 miles of range is one of the biggest advantages of the Model 3. I think having a 300 miles of range is really beneficial for anybody who's transitioning to an electric vehicle because you want as much range as possible. Like you probably heard before, range is king when it comes to all electric vehicles. So that 300 miles of range is super important to me, especially if you're taking road trips and traveling quite often. Now, if you want the cheapest, if you have a low budget and you want the cheapest, you obviously have to go with the mid-range. In the future, sometime in 2019, it hasn't been announced yet, the base $35,000 Model 3 with a standard range battery of 220 miles will be released sometime in 2019, but that hasn't been confirmed or released yet. Nobody knows when it's coming out. So right now, your cheapest option is the mid-range battery, rear-wheel drive, 260 mile range. Now, of course, if you want the best top of the line, if you have a need for speed and you want the quickest, you got to go with the dual motor performance. And that'll give you not just, the crazy fast 0 to 60, you get that long range battery as well, but it has some other features as well that it comes included with that because it does start at $64,000, which is quite a bit up there. So when it comes to paint, Black is included on all Model 3s right now. If you want any other color besides black, you're gonna have to pay at least $1,500 depending on what color you want. I have the red and it now costs $2,500. That is a steep increase in price. I really wish Tesla wouldn't charge that much for their paint. Any other color besides black is gonna cost you a little bit more money. The wheels, with the single motor and the normal non-performance dual motor, you have an option. It comes with 18-inch aero wheels included, which I have and I highly recommend, or you can pay $1,500 extra and get 19-inch sport wheels. You actually get better range with the 18-inch aero standard wheels. That's why I kept on mine. Like, some people don't like the look of it, but I like the look of the aero wheels on the red, which is what I have. And plus you get that extra boost, slight boost in range efficiency with the aero wheels. But some people just like the way the sport wheels, the 19-inch sport wheels look. It's up to you, $1,500. I always recommend saving $1,500 and getting extra range. Plus you can pop those aero wheels off and then reveal the nice looking rim underneath. Now, if you get the performance dual motor, it automatically comes with 20-inch performance wheels, so you don't have an option there. All Model 3s right now come with the black premium interior included. And it has all these features, the premium heated seats, the center console storage with docking for 2 smartphones, get the tinted glass roof, the auto dimming mirrors and the folding mirrors, the LED fog lamps, the premium connectivity for 1 year included, all that good stuff. If for some reason you don't want black and you want white, it's an extra $1,000. So those are your 2 options for interior. And the last option that you have is to choose whether you want to purchase enhanced autopilot right now or not. So if you purchase it right now when ordering, it costs $5,000, or you can purchase it after delivery and it costs you $7,000. In my opinion, as a Tesla owner, enhanced autopilot is a must. It's $5,000, it's a lot of money, but if you're buying a Tesla, I think it is definitely worth it. I use it pretty much every time I drive, and it's Tesla's, if you're not familiar with enhanced autopilot, it's Tesla's level 2 partial self-driving feature. So it's partial automation for your vehicle. So it will keep you in the lanes. It will keep the distance between you and the car ahead of you, depending on what speed you set it at. It will brake and accelerate for you. You can even, based on if you turn on your turn signal, it will change lanes for you on a highway. And it helps out driving a lot when you're driving on the highway. It just comes in handy. It's very convenient. I love autopilot, so highly recommend you budget $5,000 for that, because I think you can do a free trial after ordering. If you don't order it, you can do a free trial later after delivery, but you're paying $2,000 more if you decide to get it after delivery. So highly recommend getting enhanced autopilot when you're ordering. And then at the very end, here is where you can put down your $2,500 payment, and then the rest is due whenever you get your loan or whenever you go and actually take delivery. And you can see right here, you get 6 months of free supercharging with my referral code if you use that. And once you place your order, that's when the waiting game begins, and your delivery date is estimated. It gives you an estimated delivery date, but it totally depends on your location and what kind of car you configured. Now let's talk about the federal tax credit. Disclaimer, I'm not a tax professional, so don't take this as legal tax advice. Always consult a tax professional, but I'm gonna try to explain the federal tax credit the way I understand it. So the federal tax credit is basically like a discount on how much you owe in federal income taxes for the year that you take delivery of your car. So for a Tesla, if you owe at least $7,500 in federal income taxes in 2018 and you take delivery of your Model 3 before 2019, then you will be eligible for that full $7,500 federal tax credit. And that's only if you take delivery of your car before 2019 and you owe at least that $7,500 in federal income taxes. If you owe less than $7,500, let's say you owe $5,000 in federal income taxes, then you only get up to what you owe. So if you owe $5,000, you'll only get a $5,000 tax credit. And that's only if you take delivery in 2018. If you take delivery in the first half of 2019, that federal tax credit gets cut in half. So it goes down to $3,750, which is still really good. It's almost $4,000. So if you owe at least $3,750 in federal income tax, then you take delivery in the first half of 2019, then you will get a federal tax credit and basically get $3,750 knocked off of your federal income taxes that you owe for 2019. And if you take delivery in the second half of 2019, the federal tax credit gets cut in half again, so it's $1,875, which is still almost $2,000, which isn't bad. The bottom line is the sooner you order your Model 3, the better chance you have at saving the most money as far as getting that tax credit. So if you owe $7,500 in federal income tax, try your best to get your Model 3 before 2019. And you can even make arrangements to pick your Model 3 up at the Fremont factory. And Tesla says if you do that, it's usually less than 4 weeks from the time you order your Model 3. You just have to make arrangements and pick it up yourself. You still have to pay that $1,200 destination fee that's required for all Tesla orders, even if you pick it up from the Fremont factory. But it will guarantee you that $7,500 tax credit if you get it before 2019. Now, if you want to get that $3,750 tax credit, you can take delivery in the first half of 2019 and still get that as long as you owe that much in federal income taxes. So you'll get that $3,750 knocked off. If you're serious about ordering a Model 3, try to do it as soon as possible to guarantee that you'll get that $7,500 tax credit or this $3,750 if you're okay with getting it in the first half of 2019. So let's say you've ordered your Model 3 and now you're preparing for delivery. So these are the things to consider when preparing for delivery. So your Tesla representative or your Tesla contact will reach out to you and schedule a delivery date for you. In the meantime, check your Tesla account. Just make sure you pay attention to when that VIN number shows up and make sure you apply for your loan the soonest as possible so that you are all ready when you go and take delivery of your car. So when you transition from a gasoline car to a fully electric car, it's a lifestyle change. And the biggest thing up front is to make sure you have a place to charge your car, because you're going to charge this pretty much every night. The best situation is to have a garage where you can install an electrical outlet or a charging station for your car. And if you don't have a garage, it's still possible to charge and install a charging spot, but it's optimal to have a garage. So your options in your garage or anywhere where you're getting the outlet installed for your Tesla, you're going to have a couple of options. The most popular and cheapest option for the best bang for your buck, I guess you could say, is a NEMA 1450 outlet. And that's going to charge your Model 3. It's going to give it 30 miles of range per hour of charge. And that's going to be enough for most people. That's what I have. And the cost to install that, it's going to vary depending on your location. So contact the local electrician and tell them that you want to have a quote for NEMA 1450 installed in your garage. And the Tesla, your Model 3 comes with everything that you need, the mobile connector for you to plug it up to that outlet. And that is going to be the cheaper option compared to getting a Tesla wall connector, which is your other option. Now, it is possible to charge your Tesla Model 3 on a 110 regular outlet, but it's not feasible. It only gives you like 1 or 2, maybe 3 miles of range per hour of charge, which is not feasible at all. For normal everyday charging, you're going to want a NEMA 1450 like we just talked about, or the Tesla wall connector, which is the more expensive option, but it does charge your Model 3 a little bit faster. It gives you about 42 miles of range per hour of charge with that Tesla wall connector. The wall connector itself costs $500 plus the amount to get it installed by an electrician. So now that you have a place to charge your car, check with your electric company to see if there are any special rates for electric vehicle owners. Sometimes they'll give you special rebates, or sometimes they'll give you certain rate plans that you can change your electricity plan like I did, to where when you charge your car, like usually overnight, they give you a lower rate of electricity. So it's cheaper to charge your car overnight and during those off-peak hours. So check with your electric company about that. The next thing to do is to take delivery of your car at your nearest Tesla service center. And once you take delivery, you're going to go there. They're going to walk you through, the delivery specialist is going to walk you through the basics of your car. You're going to get your key card. They're going to walk you through the download of the Tesla app, which the Tesla app controls many functions of the car. And when you're there, make sure you take along a checklist to check the most important parts of your car before you actually take delivery and accept the car. Make sure there's nothing wrong with your car. I will leave a link to a Tesla checklist, a Model 3 checklist that you can print out and take with you on the day of delivery. So once you get in your car and you drive it off the lot, that's when the fun begins. Soak it in. It's one of the best feelings in your life up to that point, probably. So let's talk about driving and charging the Model 3. So we know that you can charge the Model 3 at home, but what about when you're on road trips? Well, that is one of the biggest advantages of owning a Tesla, is that you have access to Tesla's nationwide supercharger network, and those superchargers will charge your car extremely fast. So you can get about 170 miles of range in about 30 minutes of charging on a supercharger. So, and there's over 10,000 superchargers worldwide, and you can pretty much travel anywhere in the US, I think, along major highways just by charging on Tesla superchargers alone. So that is a huge advantage of owning a Tesla, because when you own an all-electric car, you have to have ways to quickly charge when you're on the road, and that's where the superchargers come in. Now, you can also use apps like PlugShare and ChargePoint to find public electric vehicle charging stations that you can charge your Tesla at. It won't be as fast as a Tesla supercharger. However, you can still do it. It's great to not only have access to superchargers, but also have access to any public electric vehicle charging spot. And charging in general is going to be so much cheaper than buying gas. It's going to be a fraction the cost of gas, even supercharging. So charging at home is going to be your least expensive option. So that's the best way to save as much money, is to charge at home as much as possible. But even when you're on a road trip and you have to supercharge and pay for supercharging, hopefully you get that free 6 months of supercharging if you use my referral code. But bottom line, electric vehicles are going to save you a lot as far as fuel savings go. Now, driving the Model 3 is extremely fun and super relaxing. I'm in stop and go traffic right now, and when you see the steering wheel icon pop up on the screen, that means enhanced autopilot is available. You can enable it. So a double tap down on the right stalk will enable autopilot. It says always keep your hands on the wheel. So what I do is just, put my hand right here on the bottom part of the steering wheel, and it recognizes that my hand is here and I'm not moving the steering wheel and I'm not accelerating. This is all done by autopilot. So autopilot will keep the distance from the car in front of me. It will speed up to whatever speed I set it at, and then it'll also decrease and brake when needed, when the car slows down in front of me, and it'll keep within the lanes as well. And you can see on the screen here, it recognizes all the cars around me. It recognizes the lanes because the car has cameras all around the car and ultrasonic sensors and a radar. So all of that is being used. Enhanced autopilot is constantly getting better, we're going to talk about the software updates in the next section. But yeah, driving the Model 3, it's so much fun to drive. I look for any excuse to drive it. It's relaxing. You got a clear commanding view out of the windshield because there's no instrument cluster. It's just a minimalist dashboard. And a lot of people think that the interior is cheaply made, but I think that it is made with simplicity in mind, and sometimes less is more. And I really, really do love driving the Model 3. You'll learn about how to use the scroll wheels. The scroll wheels are very easy. One is tied to the autopilot, the speed. You can scroll up and down to control your speed. The other scroll wheel is dedicated to music playback. Now, one of the biggest changes that you have to adjust to when you're going to a Tesla Model 3 or an all-electric vehicle is the way the braking works. So in an all-electric vehicle, when you let your foot off the accelerator, the brakes actually kick in, and it's called regenerative braking, and that actually feeds a little bit energy back into the battery to improve your range. Now, when you are doing highway speeds, so 70 miles an hour or over, you're not going to get the estimated range. You're going to use more range than what it estimates here on the screen. So this shows you how much mileage I have left on my battery. But if I'm going 70 miles an hour or over, that is going to use more battery faster. And you can see how much energy you've used since the last charge and since the last time you actually put the car into drive. And it will tell you, your average energy usage. And of course, with any electric vehicle, the instant torque, that's what makes it so quick. And the Model 3, of course, is one of the best performing electric cars out of all of them. And even the slowest Model 3 is still really quick just because of that instant torque. So as you can tell, Tesla is very software focused, probably the best software in any car right now. And they heavily base their cars on software alone. Your car gets free software updates over the lifetime of the car. It has built-in LTE connection for that. The premium connectivity only is cost extra. It's $99 a year, but that only applies to the music streaming. Your car, even if you choose not to get that premium connectivity, your car will always have the LTE connection and always download software updates as they become available, and it will always have onboard navigation, and your maps will always use the LTE signal for that. Since I've owned my car, I've gotten a lot of updates, and my car has gotten a lot of new features that I didn't have when I first got the car. For example, right now I'm on autopilot, and Navigate on autopilot is one of the biggest new features of the new version 9 software. Now, the touchscreen does take some time to get used to since pretty much everything is controlled on the touchscreen. You have the menu icons down here. Even the climate control is controlled via the touchscreen. Now, the good news is the touchscreen is super responsive. So it's like having an iPad, a new iPad. It's so It's so responsive, and it doesn't lag like you think of a normal car touchscreen would lag and be sluggish. This is really fast, and hopefully it stays fast over time. Now, we know Tesla is constantly improving the software. These are some things that were just recently added. We have an energy tab now. We can look and see what our average energy usage is over the past 5 miles, 15 miles, or 30 miles. You can look at your charging and see, you know, when's the last time you supercharged. You can set your limit. It's best to set your limit at 80% when you're charging daily for your daily driving. Only charge to 100% when you need to go on a long road trip. And you can actually schedule your charging too. So it'll know exactly when to start charging if you have that set rate plan for your electricity at home, so that you can take advantage of that lower rate if you have that option. And with the premium connectivity, it includes that streaming radio and streaming music and podcasts. You know, with the voice commands, you can tell it to play a certain artist or song and it will play it. The voice commands also, you know, you can use it for direction purposes as well. You can say drive to a certain location or drive to this address, and it will pop up the trip navigation, which we'll actually talk about right now. I go to the navigate, you can type in any address. It'll show step-by-step directions here on the screen, and on the map you can visually see where you're at and where you need to turn. This is one of the best features about the Model 3, this big screen with the navigation map. So I encourage you to look through all your settings, because everything is in here. It's all in here. Anything that you can customize is in here. If you have multiple drivers in your household, right here you can have different drivers, and you can choose and switch between each one of them. And if you can set your seat and your steering wheel position, it's all set custom, so you can easily switch between driver profiles, which is great as well. Of course, as you can see all about your Model 3 here on the screen. You got access to the manual even on the screen itself, so if you need to look up something in the manual, you have that access here on the screen. And then you have your fun little Easter eggs, Drive on Mars, cowbell, all that stuff, Santa driving. The kids love that. It does have a built-in Wi-Fi connection, so you can connect to your own home Wi-Fi network. It has Bluetooth connectivity for streaming, you know, music from your phone. And there really is no key for the Model 3. Your phone is actually your main key because it uses Bluetooth. It will automatically unlock when you walk up to the car and lock the car when you walk away from the car. And you can use the smartphone app to control a lot of the functionalities in your car as well from wherever you are, because the car is constantly connected to the internet. And there's really no turning off the car. It pretty much stays on all the time. So when you get in, it's already on and you're ready to go, which is something a little that you're gonna have to get used to if you're coming from a gasoline car. The software, the screen is dynamic. You know, if you get a car that has physical knobs and dials, those are static, those don't change. This, however, it's dynamic. It will constantly improve, it can constantly change and get better over time, and that's the beauty of owning a Tesla. So let's talk about the maintenance and care. This is going to be a very short section because maintenance is not really needed as much on an electric vehicle compared to a gasoline vehicle. So the really only maintenance you do on a regular basis is rotate your tires and kind of check for the windshield wiper fluid. Every 2 years or so, you're going to get the battery coolant checked, I believe. It's in the manual, but really the month-to-month type stuff is really just, you know, checking to make sure your tires are good. You know, there's no gasoline engine, there's no oil changes, there's no belts, there's no transmission, there's none of that stuff. So it's very easy upkeep for the most part. And it does come with you know, your standard vehicle warranty, and it does come with a battery warranty as well. So hopefully you don't have to worry about that for a while. Now, I did a whole entire separate video on the top accessories that I recommend for all Model 3 owners. And a lot of those have to deal with keeping the car clean and just caring for it. So check that out. That will probably be better for you to watch that entire video separately. It's very easy. And plus, when you own a Model 3, like, keeping it clean and caring for it is actually fun. So in conclusion, the Model 3 is flat out fantastic. Electric or not, even compared to a similarly priced gasoline vehicle, I would still choose the Model 3 any day of the week. It's all electric, which is amazing. You get all of these software features. You get this comfortable, new, minimalist, futuristic design. It's a fun thing to talk about with people who notice it, and people are always just flabbergasted by the Model 3 itself, and they're always asking me questions about it, and they're always genuinely impressed. And I myself, I feel so much better and get so much enjoyment out of driving again. I used to hate driving, and the Model 3 made driving fun again. So that is my summary of the Model 3. So again, if you want that free 6 months of supercharging when you order your Model 3, I will leave my referral link in the description below. I thank you in advance if you use that. So thanks for riding with me. I hope you enjoy your Model 3 if and when you get one, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.